Hello, friends. Welcome to Crack Defense. So, I hope your studies are going great, and we are with our chemistry series. So, we have completed 4 chapters. Now, we are on to fifth chapter, that is metals and non-metals. So, we'll learn the properties of metals and non-metals. So, here it goes. So, this is the periodic table, and here you all know that. Till here we have metals. Okay, the zigzag line you can see. Okay, so till here we have metals. The zigzag line is the metalloids. Okay, they are metalloids, and these are non-metals. Okay, so these are the classification of metals and non-metals in your periodic table. So you all must have been knowing this. uh, so we'll directly start with the differences of metals and non-metals. So here the first property of metal is that metals will have high melting and boiling point. Okay, so metals will have high melting and boiling point, and non-metals will have low melting and boiling point. Okay, except mercury, all the metals will have high melting point. Okay, and mostly metals are metals are in solid state. Okay, they are present in solid state, or they are yes, they are present, they are mostly solids, and except this mercury. Okay, this is not in solid state, but it is somewhat in its liquid state. Okay, so this is about melting and boiling point. Then if we talk about ductility, so ductility means they can be transformed into any long wire. Okay, so in shops you must have seen silver. Okay, silver coils, aluminum coils. Okay, which you use for different projects. Okay, for making flowers, the stick which you use, that is silver coil. Okay, so that is a metal. uh, and metals have high ductility, non-metals have low ductility. Okay, and the example is gold. It is the most ductile. Okay, and then next we have copper. After gold we have copper, which is most ductile. Then we have our other property, that is malleability. So metals are malleable. So okay, metals are highly malleable, and non-metals have low malleability. Okay, malleability means you can beat them down into thin sheets. So here you can see that this is hammer. इसको beat करके ये shape दे दिया. Okay, एक coin का shape दे दिया. So malleability means it can be beaten down into thin sheets. So here what you all should know is that they can ask what is malleability, what is ductility. Okay, this can be a 1 mark question, so this is very important. Okay, so malleability means they can be beaten down into thin sheets. Ductility means they can be transformed into long wires. Okay, so you all should know this. Then in metals, gold and silver are most malleable. Okay, then we have the other property, that is sonorous. Okay, sonorous means producing ringing sound. So bell use करते हैं, so they are metals. Silver is the most sonorous. So they make lots of noise, lots of sound. So that is because of this property of metal. Then next we have luster. Okay, so metals are highly lustrous, and non-metals are not very lustrous. Okay, and here exception is iodine. Except iodine, you'll hardly found any non-metal that is luster. Okay, that is lustrous. So NaCl, जो नमक हम use करते हैं, जो iodine हम use करते हैं, they are somewhat lustrous. Okay, so these were the properties of metals and non-metals. Now we learn that metals, they are good conductors of heat and electricity. Okay, so heat and electricity, so इसीलिए electric wires जो होते हैं, so majorly वो copper wires होते हैं, because they are uh, uh, good conductors. जो वायर होता है, नॉट दी आउटर साइड. ओके, जो इनसाइड वाला होता है, दैट इज सिल्वर और कॉपर. वो यूज होता है वहाँ पर. ओके, सो मेटल्स आर गुड कंडक्टर्स ऑफ हीट एंड इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, एंड नॉन मेटल्स आर बैड कंडक्टर्स ऑफ हीट एंड इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. So यहाँ पर next, then we have density. So metals have high density except lithium and sodium. Density is we talking about the mass. Okay, so density is the formula of density is mass upon volume. Okay, so metals have high density and they have low density. If we talk about lithium and sodium, so there's also a unique property about them, is that they are very lighter, and they are lighter than water also. So you cannot store them in water, because in presence of water they are very reactive. Okay, they react heavily in presence of water. If even a drop of water falls on a small portion of lithium or sodium, it will burn. Okay, so that is the reason why lithium and sodium are stored in kerosene. Okay, because in normal if normally also they are kept at a place, they will take water from the moisture, okay, from the atmosphere. They'll take that water and they'll react. Okay, they'll explode. So that is the reason why we always store lithium and sodium in kerosene. Okay, so in kerosene oil we store them. We store lithium and sodium, and here nonmetals, they have low density. Okay, now this was the physical property. Okay, so till now we have discussed the physical property of metals and non-metals. So physical property means based on their appearance. हमने बताया that they are ductile, they are malleable. Okay, they are sonorous. Okay, so we have discussed all these things. Now we'll discuss the chemical property. Okay, so in chemical properties, this is the difference between metals and non-metals. So uh, metals जो हैं, they will react with oxygen to form basic oxides. We'll see the reaction also in the coming slide. Okay, so metal, they react with oxygen to form basic oxides, and non-metals, they will form acidic oxide. Okay, so non-metals, oxygen, and form acidic oxide. Then metals will react with water to produce hydrogen gas. Okay, and these are electronegative in nature. Then next we have that they react with acid to produce hydrogen gas. With water also they produce hydrogen gas. With acid also they produce hydrogen gas. And non-metal, they are good oxidizing agents. Okay, then these are also oxidizing agents. Then they have very low ionization energies and they have high ionization energy. Now what is ionization energy? So the minimum energy required to remove the most loosely electrons, okay, of an isolated atom or molecule, that is called ionization energy. So हमने इसको already last अपने पहले वाले chapter में पढ़ा था in atoms and molecules, that when you remove an electron from your last shell, okay, so the energy required to remove that electron from your last shell, that is called ionization energy. So metals, they have low ionization energies, and non-metals, they have high ionization energies. Okay, and that is the reason if we talk about NaCl. Okay, so in NaCl, Na is a metal. Okay, and Cl जो है, it's a halogen series में आता है. Okay, ये so Na जो है, it is getting plus charge and Cl is getting minus charge. Plus charge means it is giving an electron. Okay, so इसको ज़्यादा एफर्ट्स नहीं लग रहे हैं इलेक्ट्रॉन्स देने के लिए. ओके, बिकॉज इट हैज़ लो आयोनाइजेशन एनर्जी. Electron in Cl cannot easily give its electron. Okay, because it has high ionization energy, so it's very difficult to lose an electron from the last shell of chlorine. Okay, so it will gain because it has high ionization energy, so it will gain. Here Na cannot gain an electron because it has very low ionization energy. It will lose an electron. So I hope this is clear about the ionization energies. Then if we discuss this reaction, so um, metal will react with oxygen to form metal oxide. So copper or aluminium, we have this example. Copper react with oxygen to form copper oxide. Aluminium react with oxygen to form aluminium oxide. Okay, so next we have something called amphoteric oxides. Okay, this amphoteric oxides. So what are amphoteric oxides? Amphoteric oxides means when metal oxides such as aluminium oxide or zinc oxides, uh, they react with both acid as well as base to form salt and water, so they are called as amphoteric oxides. So what are amphoteric oxides? aluminum oxides and zinc oxides. Okay, they are examples, and these oxides, they react with both acids and base to form salts and water. So here you will see aluminum oxide. This is aluminum oxide, Al2O3. This is reacting with HCl. This is an acid to form AlCl3 and H2O. Okay, salt and water. Okay, amphoteric oxide, HCl, that is acid to form base and water. Okay, and here amphoteric oxide, this is reacting with base to form salt and water. Okay, so to form salt and water, so here amphoteric oxide is reacting with acid, here it is reacting with base to form salt and water. Okay, AlCl3 is a salt, sodium aluminate is a salt, and water. Okay, so this is the reaction which you all should know. This is an important reaction. They can ask you what amphoteric oxides are, so you should know what they are. Then we have this reactivity series. Okay, so you should learn the series by heart. Okay, this is one of the way of remembering this series. So please stop calling me a careless zebra, instead try learning how copper saves gold. Okay, so this is a mnemonic through which you can remember this series, because you should remember this in this particular order only. Okay, so potassium is most reactive, sodium is most reactive. Okay, then we have gold. uh, because potassium is most reactive, that is why we don't store it normally. Okay, we don't store it. You'll not find potassium and sodium anywhere and everywhere. You'll always found them in kerosene. Okay, in because in normally they react with atmosphere and they'll explode. Okay, so that is the reason why we store them in kerosene. And then we have gold, that is the least reactive. The silver, copper, they are least reactive, and that is why we use them in ornaments. Okay, the ring you wear, नेकलेस पहनते हैं हम लोग, ठीक है. सो इट्स बिकॉज दे आर नॉट रिएक्टिव. अगर वो रिएक्टिव होता तो हम पहनते नहीं उसको. ओके, सो दिस इज द ऑर्डर, दिस इज द रिएक्टिविटी सीरीज विच यू ऑल शुड नो, विच यू ऑल शुड रिमेंबर. सो दिस इज द निमोनिक. डू रिमेंबर इट. इसको एक और बार बोलो. Please stop calling me a careless zebra. Instead, try learning how copper saves gold. Okay, so say it 2-3 times. Okay, and then remember this also. Uh, Here itself, you remember this, and this is important. This can come in your paper. Okay, so they can give you 2-3 metals from this, and they can then ask you which is the most reactive among them. So you all should know which is most reactive, so to remember this series. And we are done with our chapter, metals and non-metals. So I hope things are clear for you, and if you have any doubts, do comment in the comment section. I will come up with your doubts. Thank you, and enjoy learning. All the best.